Ed Gein, a name that has inspired countless horror movies and true crime documentaries. But the reality of what he did goes far beyond anything Hollywood has dared to show. Today, we're uncovering 10 real Ed Gein horrors so disturbing, even Netflix skipped them. Fact number one, the graves he robbed. Long before Ed Gein became infamous for murder, he had a morbid obsession with the dead. Gein would secretly dig up recently buried corpses from local graveyards, carefully selecting women who resembled his mother. He exhumed bodies to study them, cut off body parts, and take them home. The local town had no idea their loved ones were being desecrated by a quiet man living on the edge of town. Fact number two, the human skin mask. One of the most shocking discoveries in Gein's home was a mask made entirely from human skin. Authorities found it stored in a box, carefully crafted. But what's even more chilling is reports suggest he sometimes wore it, attempting to become the women he so obsessively idolized. The idea of a living person wearing the flesh of the dead is something nightmares are made of. Fact number three, the chair of bones. Gein's obsession extended to furniture. He made a chair from human bones with a seat and backrest upholstered in human skin. Imagine the sheer audacity, turning death into everyday household items. This wasn't just macabre art. It was an extension of his twisted psyche, blurring the line between life and death. Fact number four, skulls as household items. But Gein didn't stop at furniture. Skulls were turned into bowls, candle holders, and even planters. He repurposed the remains of the dead in ways that made his home a museum of horror. Authorities later described the house as a collection of the dead, and it's difficult to imagine the mental state required to live in such a place. Fact number five, the bodysuit. Perhaps the most grotesque artifact found in Gein's home was a full body suit made from the skin of several women. He allegedly wore it almost as if trying to become one of the women he idolized. This was not just necrophilia, it was a ritualistic attempt to inhabit the body of another, a horrifying fusion of obsession and identity disorder. Fact number six, his murders. While much of his notoriety comes from grave robbing and desecration, Ed Gein also committed murders. One known victim, Mary Hogan, a local tavern owner, was lured to his home and killed. Gein's choice of victims was deliberate, women who resembled his controlling mother. His obsessions were deadly, showing how his psyche translated fantasy into real-life horror. Fact number seven, headless corpses. When authorities searched Gein's property, they discovered headless and dismembered corpses. Heads, torsos, and limbs were stored separately, often in jars, boxes, and hidden rooms. Gein's meticulous dissection of human bodies revealed a mind obsessed with control over life and death. Fact number eight, religious and psychological delusions. Gein's crimes were fueled in part by extreme religious beliefs and psychological trauma. He grew up under the strict controlling rule of his mother, who instilled intense fear and shame. Later, he performed rituals he believed would connect him with the dead, blending necrophilia, idolatry, and twisted religious ideas into a disturbing personal belief system. Fact number nine, the hidden room of horror. Authorities were shocked by a secret room in his home filled with tools, human remains, and clothing made from human skin. The room was essentially a workshop for his macabre obsessions. It's the kind of discovery that even the darkest horror series would avoid showing in full detail. Fact number 10, the psychological legacy. Ed Gein's story is not just about physical horrors, but the psychological devastation that stems from isolation, obsession, and trauma. His case reminds us that the most terrifying monsters are sometimes human, and that the human mind itself can create horrors beyond imagination. Ed Gein's crimes are a chilling reminder that reality can be far darker than fiction. If you want more true crime stories that dive into the darkest corners of human nature, subscribe and turn on notifications. And remember, some horrors are too real to watch alone.